Dear listeners, welcome to the latest episode of our Academy for Football Culture. My name is Emmanuelle Labeau and I'm Professor of French Contemporary Linguistics at the University of Antwerp. My knowledge of football extends to sticking as straight as possible World Cup stickers in my son's Panini album and every 4 years to doing my weekly ironing in front of the Red Devils matches. My efficiency then tends to be inversely proportional to that of our national team. So, what could I contribute to a football podcast? Well, one of my main research areas is the French tense system, and I've published in 2022 a 474-page book on the past historic. The past historic is a declining tense in contemporary French that is particularly suited for the narration of past events. I have assessed its usage in different types of text: interviews, broadcasts, history books, obituaries, horoscopes. One of the genres I have studied is sports reports in the written press. It was a perfect opportunity to claim I was doing sport without breaking into a sweat and losing my glasses. More specifically, I have studied articles on World Cup finals between 1950 and 2010 in 4 French medium newspapers published in France, Le Monde and L'Humanité, and in Belgium, Le Soir and La Libre Belgique. Along the way, I've made some unexpected discoveries I'd love to share with you. First, believe it or not, the narration of a football match reflects the evolution of language. In theory, the past historic is ideal to retell the chronology of a past event. It presents each action as completed, leaving the impression of a seamless succession of events. Yet, the forms of this tense, what linguists call morphology, are highly irregular and somewhat challenging to produce without mistakes. Already in the mid-17th century, Vaugelas, a courtier who commented on the best way of speaking at the court of the king, already discouraged gentlemen to use it for fear of making mistakes. Besides, many forms of the past historic are homophonous, they sound the same, as funny or slightly rude words. For instance, the singular forms of pouvoir, to be able to, in the past historic, sound the same as the present tense of the verb puer, to stink. Consequently, the past historic is declining, leaving an empty slot in the verbal system. But what could thus replace it? Other past tenses, maybe? The passé composé is the first in line. Initially a present perfect, it has certainly managed to supplant the past historic in conversation, but that retrospective presentation of events does not work so well for narration, as shown by the outcry when Albert Camus wrote his novel L'Étranger in the passé composé rather than the traditional past historic. The imperfect, another past tense that shows actions unfolding, can sometimes be of service to linger on major points of the match as a slow motion effect, but its main use is to describe backgrounded actions. The present tense can give an impression of vivacity, but it also blurs foreground and background as well as past and present. That's not ideal. Indeed, each of those tenses can retell a football match, and some of the 50 newspapers reporting on the 2010 final I studied illustrate those options. For example, the past historic in La Libre Belgique, compound past in L'Équipe, imparfait in la Nouvelle République d'Alsace, or present in Le Temps, a Swiss daily. But sometimes all those stances mix together to create a multifocal system, including even future form, go periphrases and model periphrases that look at the match from different perspectives, like as many cameras. So why are football reports struggling to identify with a tense? This brings me to my second point, the evolving function of the written press. When the World Cup started, few people had access to radios, let alone a television, so the written press articles could be where the outcomes of the match were discovered. With the democratization of television, most people would have seen the final at the time of reading, and since the early 1980s, all the matches are broadcast. In that context, the written press article became redundant and needed to find a new role. Analysis of the strategy, commentary, painting the portrait of a key player. This is not a narration of the match anymore. So no wonder narrative tenses, such as the past historic, have been declining in football articles. In the last decade, online editions have changed journalistic practice, and articles have turned into work in progress, open to edition. As for artificial intelligence, how will it integrate the multifocal approach to sports reports? On what model will it be fed? Will it develop its own styles? Language is at the core of every human activity, even football. So linguists can be part of the fun this World Cup. Enjoy the competition and may the best win, especially if it's Belgium.
Universiteit Antwerpen. Bepaal mee de toekomst.